And then you're like, now we're a comedy audience, just like that. Wow, I love that. Oh, you're more excited than I am. Like, I'm pretty excited, but it's still 6 o'clock, you know? That's why I'm pumped for this show. Like, we're all gonna be in bed by 9. That's so awesome. I think everything should start at 6. Everything, a hard 6, and we all got fuzzy slippers on by 9 o'clock, enjoying our lives. This is beautiful. Everyone told me this was the nicest club, and it is. It's too nice. I am gonna say that. I don't know where those light sources are coming from. It's too nice. They have a green room that's just a giant bachelor studio apartment. Like they have guitars in there and a massage. You know those massage chairs from like the airport? They got one of those in there for no reason. And I showed up 30 minutes before the show and I'm like, we should have got here earlier. Like they kept coming in going, all right, so like what credits do you want? And how do you want to be introduced? I'm like, I want to play this guitar. Can you leave? I want to be in a massage chair and eat nuts and grapes while playing a guitar. I want to play the opening to Nothing Else Matters alone. Can we do that? While making free throws. It was amazing. It's like someone in their 20s won the lotto. It's great, man. It's my first time here. It's very nice here in Madison. We landed, hopped in an Uber, and you guys are very proud of those lakes. I can tell. The Uber driver, as soon as I was like, wow, look at that lake, he's like, we have multiple lakes. The way he said it, he's like, buddy, your mind's gonna be blown if you like water. We are hydrated. And I have been here long enough to know you guys have a lot of water. All of it's hard, all right? I've already taken a shower at the hotel. I've washed my hands here. Every spigot is just spraying it out. Like, I took a shower in the hotel that looked like Triple H was making a wrestling entrance. Just, like, his lips were dry just like mine, you know? That's the other part of it. My lips are so dry out here. They feel like 2 pretzel sticks just rubbed together. I don't know how you guys do it. Oh, it's devilish. There's all that water and we're so dry. It makes no sense. I don't know, man. But yeah, we came up from Bloomington. That's where we came up from. Yeah, really, for Bloomington. You've been through there. Woo! I've heard of it. All right. I hope he brings up the Mall of America. That's where we were performing, the Mall of America. That's where I was. For the last 2 days, we've been staying at a mall. Our hotel was connected to it, and it was like a horror movie, all right? Every time, like, the shows would be done, and then we had to get back to our hotel in an empty mall. And the escalators are still running. We went from the 7th floor down to all of them. Why are they running? Who's that for? The spirits like them on. You know, like, why would you do that? And it reminded me of years ago in Kansas City, I had to go return a rental car too early. It was like 4 a.m, and they have a big rental car return mall. And I was there by myself, which was horrifying. And I'm coming down the escalator. I'm like, I don't like this. I'm like half asleep. And then I turned a corner and I startled the security guard, like the one other guy there. He was this elderly man with thick glasses, and we just, and that's what I said. I went, ah. And for some reason, he went, we're all alone. There's no way they trained you to say that. Like, there's no way that was in the manual. If you enter a bad situation, quickly, make it worse. That's what we like to do here at the rental car center. But yeah, that's what it was like at the mall. And we stayed at a hotel that was connected to the mall, and that's always... You know, we had to go check in. I make awkward situations out of situations that shouldn't be awkward. You know? That's what I do. I was checking in, and the lady at the front desk like, oh, what are you in town for? And I'm like, I'm here for work. You know, just so we don't have to have that conversation. And she's like, oh, the comedy club made your reservation. Is that what you do? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, yeah, usually when people say they're here for work, I'm sure they're doing something lame, but not you. And I'm like, yes. And then she's like, every time people say they're here for work, they never say what they do. And I was like, you know, we're probably all burying bodies, you know. That little laugh you guys just had, none of that at the front desk. Can you imagine that sentence coming out and the other person just going, click, 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 click. And I'm like, that's why I don't say it, right there. It's all been malls. That's why I had to go shopping. That's why I don't like it. I don't like to perform in casinos or malls because I'm gonna spend money, you know. I went and bought this jacket at the Levi's store, and I don't know if you can tell I have new jacket energy on me. You know when you get a new jacket and you're like, oh. You just do this in front of the mirror, you know? You're like, should I pop the collar or shouldn't I? And then you see a stranger and you're like, oh, I'm back to me again. All right. That was just for the hotel room. But yeah, I went shopping at the mall. They have young people work at the mall, and they're practicing talking to humans, and we're part of that process. It's a training seminar for Gen Z. It's our responsibility as the elders to go, we'll get through it together, I guess. Every store I went into, just a terrified 20-something would be like, can I help you with something? Like, I didn't even know they worked there. They just, like, came out from behind the thing. And they were so happy when I said no. They were so happy. If I was like, I'm just looking around, they'd be like, nice. And then they'd walk off, and I'd see them catch their manager's eye, like, I tried. I did it. Go sit in the break room now. I want to be a part of this. This isn't even the jacket I wanted. I wanted a different colored denim jacket, and they just didn't have medium, which happens to me. And I've been different sizes. I used to be heavier. I used to be a large. And no matter what size I am, when I go to the store, I think there's like an army of people that size. They're like, Zoltan, to go on to the mall, send in the mediums. And everything I want is like, do you want small or large? And you're like, neither. Neither work. And so I wanted this jacket in a medium, or a different color, same jacket. And I was looking for it and I couldn't find it. And one of the employees came by, a young girl, and she's like, are you looking for something? And I'm like, I am actually. And she's like, oh, damn it. And I'm like, do you have this jacket in a medium? And then she scanned it with her phone and she looked up the inventory. She's like, we should have one. And then both of us are just looking through all the coats, looking for a medium. This is when I learned, like, that Gen Z, they have a hard time starting a conversation, but they have an even harder time leaving one. Because we got to a point where we looked through all the jackets and there were no mediums, and instead of just going, well, I guess we tried, she just slowly drifted away from the situation. Like I was stuck in a car and it was on fire and she tried her best. I guess I'll pick a different coat then, huh? All right. It's ridiculous. But it's been fun. It's been fun. I've been doing a lot of malls. The week before this, I was in Edmonton. Edmonton has another giant mall. Don't get too excited. What were you about to say? For a while. Not even from there? I thought you were going to say, my heritage comes from Edmonton. You're like, no, she dated a guy for a while. Didn't work out. Then she left. Did I nail it? Is that what it was? Was it really? Oh. She dated a man in Edmonton. It's so funny. Yeah, it was a big mall. It's like what they're doing in Bloomington. And I had to stay at a hotel connected to that mall. But that hotel was called Fantasyland Hotel, which is a water park hotel. And that's not the type of hotel you want to check into as a man by yourself. All right? It's all families with children, big groups, and just a man with a backpack. Like, I'm here on business, you know, like that. That doesn't smooth things over with everybody. People are like, who the hell's that guy? Why isn't he here with somebody? And I could tell the lady that checked me in also wasn't used to checking people in that come by themselves. Like, she was like, at the end, she was like, is 2 keys all right? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, all right, yeah. Maybe you'll meet somebody. There you go. I was like, what? You can just give me 2 keys. That's standard in the hospitality industry. Here's 2 keys. And she's like, I've never seen this before. But wishful thinking, you know? And then I went into the room, and it was too much room. Like, I should have been there with somebody. The room was huge. They had a jacuzzi in the center of the room, a giant jacuzzi. And I'm there by myself with a giant jacuzzi, and then they had mirrors going around it so I could see myself being alone from all angles, staring into an empty jacuzzi tub. And I'm like, what have I made of my life? Like, what is this? And then in my head, I'm like, I don't know what it is, but anytime I'm in a happy place, surrounded by families and giggling, my brain goes to the darkest places. I don't know what it is. It's like my brain has to counterbalance it with negativity. If I'm in someplace sad, I do the opposite. I think happy thoughts to balance it out, but if I'm someplace happy, we're like, let's make it dark in here, you know? So I'm looking at this empty jacuzzi tub, and I'm like, well, I gotta get in. At some point, I'm gonna have to get in. I can order room service, like I get a plate of chicken wings, and I can just lay in the jacuzzi, have the jets hit me wherever I want, while I'm just gnawing on chicken wings. And then I'm like, what if I choke? What if I choke on a chicken wing? That'd be the saddest death of all time. No one would even hear my because the jets are too loud. And there's too much giggling of children outside. You just hit your head on the wall laughing so hard. That's why they wouldn't hear me. Everyone's like, woo! I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa! And then just, and then I would just go down into the froth. They wouldn't find me till the next day, till the maid came in and went, dear God! And now they gotta bring a corner to Fantasyland. Put my body on there with the sheet, and then they gotta go down the elevator everybody uses. So I just imagine Ding and a full family covered in inflatables, ready for the pool. And then they're like, make room! And so everyone's just squeezing against the wall, and all you hear is plastic on plastic. And then here comes the body with a sheet. Buffalo sauce on it. My brain goes to the darkest places. And that's where I like it to be. It helps balance out whatever's going on. Oh, I'm sorry. That was a little more for me than even you. I remember I told that scenario to my audience in Edmonton in the mall, and they're like, what? Oh dear. Oh dear. I don't know. It's been fun. It's been fun. I live in New York. I live there with my wife. It's wonderful. I don't know if you guys can relate to this, but before I left, we were watching like comedy videos on the TV, and we were laughing really hard together, like super hard, like close to tears. And then she eventually told me that she was high. And I felt so betrayed and stupid at the same time. Is that at all? Because, like, and I'm over there, like, right? And she's like, I know. I'm like, oh my God. And then she went, and I'm like, what'd you say? She's like, I'm sorry, I took an edible. And I was like, she's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I'm stupid. That's what's wrong. I laughed way too hard at all of this. Oh, ridiculous. But yeah, it's very nice to be here. I'm like Steven, I also have anxiety. Anxious person. Yeah, that's what you want to do for anxiety. Yell at it. That'll make everyone comfortable. But yeah, it's funny. I met Steven at a show I put on in Brooklyn in a ladies' basement, which only sounds weird outside of Brooklyn. All right? I was trying to set up a show there in 2019, and I couldn't find a venue. Every venue wanted like $1 million to rent it out. And then a friend was like, I have a friend who has a basement, and you can do it there. And I was like, okay. And I sold tickets on Eventbrite. And then people showed up, and then that was a situation, because I'm like, it's not a venue. It's just we're in front of an apartment building. And so I stood outside, and I'm like, go in. This isn't a trap. Go ahead. And a fellow comedian recommended that Steven open for me there. And then he did a great job. We met for a second. He had to leave. And then years later, I moved to New York. Last year I moved to New York, and he and I happened to be on the same show, and we sat next to each other in the back of the room, and I didn't want to say hello to him because I didn't know if he remembered me from 2019, so we just stood next to each other like, all right. And then after the show, I messaged him on Instagram. I'm like, hey man, you had a great set, it was super funny. I don't know if you remember, but we did a show together in a basement in 2019. And he's like, dude, I totally remember. I just thought you didn't remember me. So I didn't say anything either. So just two fully grown tax-paying men sitting next to each other in the back of a room going, nah, there's no way. There's just no way. Neither of us would take the risk of the other going, maybe? Our egos couldn't take it. And we're like, I'll just look forward.